Thanks for staying with us. We're learning how to dress for our body shapes today so that we can discover the styles that work best for us.
Yes, stylist Laura Jordan has stayed with us. Lots of tips this morning, Laura. And you're going to continue with 3 more outfits. And ultimately, it's about disguising our not-so-great parts and highlighting the lovely ones.
Yeah, to find out what you want to reveal and what you want to conceal in terms of the balance of your shape.
You said it so much better.
What she said.
Yeah, exactly what she said. So who's first out?
So first we have Emma.
OK.
And Emma is an example of a very classic Irish shape in that there's a large number of women in our country who have this body shape. So that's why it's really important that we address, you know, how
Are most of us pear-shaped?
Yes, yeah. I think about 67% is the rough. I don't know how you get a number that specific, but around that ballpark. So what we're looking at here is the idea of having a smaller bust and a larger hip. So smaller on the top half, bigger on the bottom half. So in that thread, we need to be mindful of having a nice fit on the top half and then having more of a flow. So a fit to the top and a flow to the bottom. And what we've done here is we've had a kind of a careful fit on the top, a nice V, but the cinch of the waist happens just underneath the bust, which is really important because you need your shape. You can't, if you go all kind of up and down, there's no shape anywhere, and you do have to cinch in to find that. A nice flattering end to the base of the dress as well, this midi style. As a fluted, and it's kind of cut on the side, much more flattering than a blunt edge at the base of a dress. So again, it's soft, and that's what you're looking at in terms of creating the right kind of patterns and lines. A sleeve, which is really important as well. You don't have to worry about coordinating or adding in. And as we mentioned earlier, you bring the eye to your narrowest part. So in this case, we're bringing the eye up, right up to the neckline. So we have our double neck piece, and then the earrings as well with a little piece of sparkle in them. They're Betty and Biddy, an Irish website. And then we have as well the double Roman disc from them. Just looking at how you carefully decide where people look. And again, with a print dress, as we said, you want to keep the jewellery pieces with it quite classic. The bag, a nice small but boxed shape, so it's got lots of structure. Again, a counterbalance to the flow of the dress. So if we had like a large oversized bag that was kind of slouchy, it would get a bit lost because you've got a flow in the dress. So contrast, our eye likes that. So we've gone for something that's a little different. And again, we mentioned earlier where shoes tie and where they affix to your feet is really important. These guys here are great because the strap is below the foot and the back strap is around the back of the ankle. So we're not cutting off the foot above the ankle bone, which can happen when we have a sandal. So again, just giving as much length to the leg.
Just chop the leg, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So how do we kind of get around that in terms of the colour of the shoe we choose? So here we have our straight, more athletic shape, and you have a similar measurement between bust, waist and hips. They're all kind of similar. So what we need to do here is add in a curve. So with other shapes, we're emphasising it. Here we're creating it. So what we've done here is we've gone for something that flows, a lot of mixed pattern. Again, the pattern in this dress is flowing the right way, which is up and down rather than side to side, but the waist cinch gives us that, and the flow through the base allows us to have a busy pattern when you have the height and the straight shape that kind of goes with it. And again, we soften at the neck to create the idea of the bust. Ruffles create the idea of a bust if you don't have them, because you're adding fabric and bulk. So you're not quite sure what's the dress and what's your bust, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then we have a nice fold over on the arm as well, which can be flattering. If you have that athletic shape, but perhaps not a very toned arm, this is a great way to kind of disguise that in there as well. And the waist cinch is the key to this shape. And then as we go down through it, just really soft. And then even the pop of colour at the ear gives us that balance as well to bring the eye right up to the pink colour that matches in with the colour piece we have. And a simple, again, as we mentioned, very printed dress, just simple on the neck for that reason.
What about that all-over print, Laura? Can every body shape wear that all-over busy print?
I would say yes, but the key to that is height. Height, because you pull off when you've got height. If you were more petite, I'd go for a more petite print. So that I feel like what we're talking about, the horizontal body shape in terms of proportion of bust to hips for this, but all the height issue is important, because I think the taller you are, the bigger the print, and then the more petite you are, the daintier the print. So if you're finding a dress such as this is quite long anyway, and you might be like trying to take it up, or you think, okay, maybe if I went for a daintier print, it would sit better with the proportion of my body, if that makes sense. So here we have with this one again, if you are trying to disguise a tummy, or that's where you say, you know, that's my area where I do feel like carry weight, what I'm going to do for that reason is pull to the side. Always something that pulls to the side and has that ruffle over across the front of the dress, rather than something which just pulls in at the waist and post, because that's where it'll catch on your tummy. So what we're going to do is look at bring it over to the side with that delicate ruffle that goes through it. Again, a printed dress, you're not quite sure where's the tummy and where's the dress. great. That's exactly what we want when we have big prints. And what we've done here is we've brought that just right across the side, and again, a gentle flow at the base of the dress, not a blunt edge, because they tend to be a little less flattering than something that has a small ruffle or flow along the hemline. And again, bringing the eye up, nice V to this piece, so it really sets itself up nicely for a pop of gold at the ear, which again, that's that double hoop from Betty and Biddy. And again, we've got the neck piece that goes with it. That's their Zodiac collection also. So you've got the idea of having a pop up at the right to the top of the neckline, and also kind of giving that cinch at the waist. So there are your two key areas to where do you want people to look. You're bringing the eye away from the front of the tummy, bring it to the side of the body instead.
So the dipped hemlines work for an apple shape. Do they not work for other shapes, Laura?
Dipped hemlines would work
or this
for
kind of asymmetric end.
They're very popular, I think, because they work for many. There's very few. What I would say is, I suppose, actually, no, I can't think of an example where they wouldn't, if I'm quite honest. Where I wouldn't wear them is if it was a dipped hemline at the very base of your foot, if you felt you had water tension in your ankles, or, and you didn't want to bring the eye to there.
Yes.
But if they're falling above or below the knee, most people are happy to show off those areas.
Super tips this morning, Laura. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
If you could just come shopping with us now, that'd be ideal.
That could be.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks.